his second speech also. So he's supposed to organize his speech, and his speech title is Masters Tournament. Please welcome Will Scurry.
Tim, I might need to hire you to come over to my house and train my wife into organizing her calls. You can do it. She's got half of her closet that drives me crazy every day. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I was watching the Open Championship this weekend. You guys might have watched some of the British Open on TV. I love watching golf. I'm always impressed at the talent that those guys show when they're on the biggest stage. And I got to thinking about what's my favorite tournament, and there's not even a close second. The Masters is my favorite tournament. It's held every year, the first weekend in April in Augusta, Georgia. I'm sure you guys have seen some pictures on TV of Augusta National, the golf course. It's such a beautiful place. I think that God has gone down and put his hand on that specific piece of property. And what I'm going to talk to you today is about why I and so many people across this country and worldwide think that that is one of the best golf tournaments that's out there. The first part is really the different, or really the Augusta National itself. Now, Augusta National, the piece of property was originally an indigo plantation until 1857. And it lasted that way all the way up until, until 1857, and then it turned over to a nursery. So all these plants were brought in from all over the world, and they were planted on this specific piece of property in little old Augusta, Georgia. And so what then happened is that property operated until 1910 as a nursery. So it had all of these different plant lives that were on this piece of property. And then what happened was the nursery kind of quit operation for a little while. And that property somewhat lay dormant and without any human element to it for the next 20 years. And so in 1931, the golf course of that piece of property, was bought by Bobby Jones, a famous golfer, and a group of investors. And they decided that they were going to take this particular piece of property and build a world-renowned golf facility. So they bought this 365 acres for $70,000 in 1931. I'm in the investment world. I always think about return on investment. I would strongly like to know what that return on investment would be today. But these 365 acres, they were able to bring in different golf course designers and people like Donald Ross, a famous golf course designer. But they chose to go with Alistair McKenzie, a very small-known golf course designer. He'd done a lot of work on the West Coast. But he ended up designing the golf course once he was chosen in 93 days. That's absolutely unheard of to be able to design something that magnificent in that short a period of time. And so what also happened is they commissioned the son of the former nursery owner to designate which plant was to be relocated throughout the property to be, strategically placed, and they ended up naming every golf hole that's on the property for a particular plant or shrub or however it may be that was designated in that area. So that's really the background for what Augusta National is. Now, there's a lot of traditions that follow the Masters Tournament also, and really a lot of famous structures that are on the grounds, like Eisenhower's Cabin. Eisenhower's Cabin is a really cool piece of history that's on the golf course there. It was actually specifically built for President Eisenhower. He loved to play golf, loved to be around golf facilities. And when the Masters Tournament happened, when he was sitting as president, they had to build a specific place for him to come and stay, because he couldn't just stay anywhere, because they had to have places for his security detail to stay as well. He also got a tree that's named after him as well on the property, because he actually went to the board at Augusta National and tried to get a specific tree cut down, because his fishing line would always get caught in it when he was trying to fish.